It's a pleasure to have you in the chair this evening, and thanks go to my honourable friend from North Ayrshire and Arran for bringing this debate, and to the many honourable and right honourable members for interesting and sometimes heartbreaking contributions this evening. Once upon a time, a third of the globe was pink, signifying lands that were part of the British Empire. Of course, some will say that empire was a civilising force, a moral and noble mission even. But there are others, like me, who say that those who defend imperialism are attempting to justify the exploitation of people and resources, of airbrushing from history the violence that was committed with the aim of expanding British capitalist influence across the globe. Ms Butler, to accurately analyse the current dire humanitarian situation in Palestine, then it is only right to acknowledge 1. Britain's historical role in the region, 2. Britain's current role, and 3. Ongoing imperialism and its indivisible relationship with capitalism. Britain owes a historical debt to the Palestinian people. The Balfour Declaration, the British Mandate of 1922 to 1948, the confiscation of land and the suppression of freedom and human rights that followed. Britain paved the way for today's apartheid living conditions. And now our current role is to perpetuate and normalise the ongoing occupation and colonisation of Palestine. And I'm afraid Britain cannot truthfully say that we are fulfilling our humanitarian obligations when we continue to sell arms to a state that commits genocide. We are in the scandalous position where we train IDF soldiers, soldiers of an army that commit war crimes. And we won't tell our people what we are facilitating from RAF Akrotiri, hiding behind the veil of national security and secrecy. The military support we continue to give Israel makes a mockery of our humanitarian obligations. And by continuing to trade with Netanyahu's murderous regime, then we serve to boost their economy. Netanyahu's government has, by design, crippled the Palestinian economy by impacting their ability to trade, thus making Palestinians reliant on Israel for goods, produce, and ultimately survival. Israel consistently used economic terrorism as a tool of subjugation. The reality is that there is a concerted effort to normalise Palestinians' reliance on Israel as the providers of life-saving aid, while making it near impossible for Palestinians to be self-sufficient, as well as this collective punishment of Palestinians. Another goal of this broader plan is to impose capitalism through the imperial project the Israeli government promotes, willfully aided by Western democracies. Let's now look at what has happened to Palestinian agriculture. Israel has seized farmland, killed crops, destroyed livestock, stopped farmers from trading and halted their produce reaching markets by putting up and erecting roadblocks. This has led to mass unemployment as farms have become unsustainable. It has reduced agriculture to around 4% of Palestine's GDP. Once, it was 52%. By continuing to trade with Israel, we are complicit in the ongoing colonisation of Palestine, of making Palestinians reliant on Israel. And on a different topic, what of education as a method of improving Palestinians' life chances? Something that we are fortunate in this country to consider a right, not a privilege. Ms Butler, a fortnight ago I was in the West Bank. I heard about the slow strangulation of education. Israel continue to segregate Palestinian education by way of armed checkpoints, roadblocks that stop children and students from going to school, college or university in the West Bank. Meanwhile, in Gaza, school often consists of teachers taking classes in tents as makeshift classrooms because schools have been relentlessly bombed. By trying to fragment and ultimately eradicate education, then Israel is trying to suppress Palestinian national identity and the ability of people to organise and resist the occupation of their land. By allowing this to happen, then Britain and others are not fulfilling humanitarian obligations. We all know that there are players in the international community who will always strive to maintain a capitalist and imperialist agenda at the expense of humanitarian needs. And the stark truth is that Britain is both complicit and guilty in this. Parliamentarians often try and convince ourselves and others that Britain is doing everything we can, that we are on the side of humanity, that we are decent people, part of a civilised society. But I'm sorry, if anyone really thinks Britain is achieving that and actually doing what is right, of doing everything that we possibly can, then they are either blind or they are an obedient fool.
Thank you. Uma Kamaran.
Thank you, Ms Butler, for your chairship. It's a pleasure to see you in the chair. Some 18 years ago, I was her researcher, so it's nice that she hasn't shown favouritism in calling me. I thank my honourable friend for North Ayrshire and Aaron for opening